Clint Eastwood's 1992 smash, Unforgiven, is perhaps one of his most remarkable films. Winning Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Film Editing, it broke past its budget tenfold. The film is most remembered for its willingness to turn the typical Western stereotype on its head. There are no good or bad guys, triumphant final victories, or damsels in distress. Instead, the movie uses an exceptionally told narrative and incredible cinematic techniques to tell the story of a troubled cast of characters. So, let us explore why Unforgiven has long remained a staple in American culture, and why it exemplifies the talents of Eastwood and his team. William Munny is introduced as a retired outlaw, now tied down by his children. We learn that after his wife's passing, he chose to put down his revolver and focus on family life. Working with a few animals on a remote farm, Munny is barely scraping by. When the chance to earn an income arises, he takes it. A boastful young gunslinger, who calls himself the Schofield Kid, ventures to Munny's property in the goal of recruiting him, and after some time, the repentant outlaw decides to join the hunt. So, Munny finds himself learning to shoot again, wrestling with his violent past as he pursues a wanted criminal. Combining forces with an old partner, Ned, Munny begins to face the hardship of his journey. The world is just as bad as when he abandoned it to raise his children. Law and order are nothing more than suggestions. He gradually returns to his former ways as he has to come to grips with reality. As this profound story unfolds, the audience is captivated by stunning visuals. This film has no dull moments. From the darkest and dingiest saloon scenes to the most vibrant pastoral landscapes, Unforgiven constantly impresses its viewers. However, these do not exist only to entertain. It is this visual contrast that gives the film a sense of reality, and it obscures the true nature of its characters. Visuals are not used to convey the righteousness of people. Instead, the characters exist on a constantly shifting moral and visual continuum that has no preferences. William Munny may be the protagonist, but many of his actions suggest he is villainous in nature. Visuals provided by the film do not discriminate. There are plenty of times where Munny is shown in ominous darkness, while Sheriff Little Bill, presumed antagonist, is bathed in light. It is these subtle choices that further Unforgiven's undefined morals, and allow it to challenge archetypal westerns. The visuals work with a masterful narrative to tell a story deviant from most westerns. The climax of this tale is a perfect representation of how traditional westerns ignore reality and trivialize outlaw life. In the end, William Munny is no hero. He goes back on his old ways, killing several men in a saloon. To top it off, he takes a drink from a glass of whiskey, something that he once vowed to never do again. Take a look at this scene. The ominous lighting, deep sepia tone, and thick shadows are used to convey the profound nature of his relapse. Munny doesn't seem fazed by what he has just done. Instead, he is simply revealing the darker side of humanity that so many people have. It could be argued that Munny's killing was in good intentions. He wanted to use the bounty money to help his children. However, Munny's actions suggest the savage beast that once killed countless people is not fully dormant.
It don't seem real. I ain't gonna never breathe again, ever. How he's dead. And the other one, too. All on account of pulling a trigger.
The most emotionally appealing scene in the entire film occurs when the kid reflects on his first murder. Faced with the deep notion of ending a human life, he breaks down, whiskey bottle in hand, unsure of how to even begin processing his actions. Munny, ever cold as always, lets the kid think and avoids engaging with him. A breeze floats by in the background, and a solitary tree sits anchored in the soil. A scene of such natural serenity complements the emotional chaos faced by the kid. The reality of the outlaw West is that you cannot rely on others for consolation. In the most brutal, wicked, depraved way imaginable, you are on your own. Your actions are something that you must live with, and even if you claim to have renounced them, just as Munny had, you are still burdened by that identity. But it's not just the narrative and visuals that drive this cinematic journey. There are several underappreciated factors that bring Unforgiven into masterpiece territory. For instance, take the sound design. Laden with deep low tones, courtesy of large orchestral basses and cellos, many scenes are more felt than heard. Many times there is no background music at all. Birds chirping, a gentle wind, or the cracking of horses' hooves on arid ground punctuate the tangible silence. Gunshots are loud and startling, emphasizing the permanent nature of pulling the trigger. Different camera shots are strategically used to subtly influence the audience. Static shots pair well with Eastwood's laconic stoicism, while vast, wide angles exaggerate the huge American West. Few shots feature zooms, but panning shots are very common. This gives a more realistic experience to the viewers. After all, the human eye can't zoom, but looking around is what it does best. All of these elements come together to forge a truly unique story. William Munny certainly isn't the bad guy, but he's also not the good guy. The kid isn't evil, but merely a scared showman who gets satisfaction from being seen. Several side storylines give the movie more substance, such as English Bob's eccentric antics. Eastwood, Gene Hackman, and Morgan Freeman all deliver masterful performances. Unforgiven successfully challenges what it means for a movie to be a Western. No longer must Westerns stick to glib storylines about heroes, victims, and evildoers. Now, thanks to Eastwood's talent, these films can be deep, powerful, and perfectly vague.